in his early years at Flores Elementary, through his years at Chavez Middle School, and finally as a 2009 La Joya High School graduate, Sergio Castillo Jr. was the kind of student whose pride led him to the top. As a member of the Coyote drumline as well as a football player, Sergio's talent as a kicker opened doors of endless opportunities. He attended West Texas A&M on a football scholarship and was voted best kicker in the nation in 2013 and 2014. Upon graduation, Sergio was recruited by the Miami Dolphins, then later the New Orleans Saints, and eventually played for the Atlanta Falcons in 2014. Sergio is currently a member of the Canadian Football League and plays for the Hamilton Tiger Cats in Winnipeg, Canada.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Let me just tell y'all, it feels so good to be in a room full of Mexicans. It's good to be home. It's good to be home. First of all, I want to thank y'all's leaders for having me here. It's funny because 3-4 years ago, I was at Chavez Middle School and I was speaking with Mr. Villarreal. Mr. Villarreal and Coach Flores and I were there, and it's crazy because the seed was, for me being here, the seed was planted 3-4 years ago, and they were like, hey, Serge, one of these days you're gonna be speaking at the assembly. And I was like, you know what, that is a dream. And I'm just here to tell you, you know what, dreams come true, and I am here. Now, the speech that I want to give y'all is embrace the journey. I'm going to give you a couple points. Keep it nice, sweet, and short. Go home, get some tacos, enjoy the rest of the day. All right? So, I'm going to start with a story first. And there's this little boy that he left high school to go pursue his dreams. And in the midst of that, he ran into some obstacles, like we all do. And this boy, he was about to, you know what, just call it quits. He's like, you know what, I'm done, I can't take this no more. And he calls one of his mentors, you know, and he was saying, you know, he has a lot of mentors. And his mentor was like, look, before you make a decision, just think about it. And number two, what I want you to do is just open the Bible to a random page and just look up whatever verse pops out. And this boy was like, all right, I guess I'll do it. And if I recall, this boy is in Jarrett Hall, and he's sitting down in his dorm, sitting down at his desk with the night light on, closes his eyes, opens the Bible, puts his finger, Joshua 1:9 comes out. And it states, have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be dismayed. For the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. This boy did not quit. And he said the word that stood out was wherever. He said it didn't matter if I was away from home, if I was in class, if I was such and such. He's like, wherever I'm at, God's going to take care of me. And that stood out to me. I was like, man, this boy, you know, he's courageous. Well, that mentor is Coach Armin Garza, and that boy is me. And I have a lot of people I can thank, and I can't finish. I won't be able to finish. You know, starting with my family. But if this boy never keeps on pursuing his dream, I wouldn't be here. And the reason I wanted to quit was because I was 12 hours away from home, and for the first time, I was facing racism. You know, people would make fun of me, you know, like the way I acted, the way I ate a taco. Like, you know, we rip the tortilla and we pinch it and we eat it. Well, a lot of people don't do that. And They were making fun of me. So, like I said, embrace the journey. My first key point is embrace the past. Once I read that verse, I'm like, you know what? I started embracing who I was. I was that kid who goes to Taqueria Ramirez and La Homa Mile 5, Taqueria Mary's all the time. I started embracing who I was as a man. I remember my tío Lupe, when he was getting his undergrad, he had this white Grand Marquis car, and every time we would end up at Pep Boys. And I'm like, it was like a field trip every time. The car would always be breaking down. We're like, but I didn't know, my cousins and I, we're going to Pep Boys. You know, it was something cool for us. But it showed me, I'm like, you know what? If he can do it, then I can do it. It reminded me of my past, of when my mom, when we were younger and we lived in Alton, Texas, we ran out of hot water. And I will recall my mom heating up pots on the oven. And I'm like, ooh, I'm going to take a hot bath today. I knew it. You know, it made me embrace my role, who I was. And I'm like, you know what? I am from La Joya. And that's what pushed me to go the extra mile. We live in a community where, you know, we're unprivileged. But you know what? It is what it is. We can't change it. And you teachers, hey, you never know what you're going to say or do that will make an impact on a kid. Something as simple as saying, hey, don't give up. For you, might be just 3 little simple words. But the kid's like, you know what? They actually believe in me. And for me, growing up, it was like when coaches instilled in my mind, like, Serge, hey, if you achieve it, if you believe it, you can achieve it. Confucius said, he who says he can and he who says he can't, both usually right. You tell yourself, I can do it, you're right. You tell yourself, I cannot do it, you're also right. And I'm here to challenge you, teachers, not just in your profession, but back at home. Hey, keep growing. And I was talking to Chavez a couple of days ago, is like, a lot of people die too young. It's like you see a lot of people, but they're walking like zombies. Why? Because they stop growing. They grow up, they go to school, they get married, and they stop stretching. They stop creating goals. Hey, it doesn't matter if you're 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Hey, keep creating goals. While you're still breathing, you have goals to achieve. Second point, embrace the present. Too many people give their circumstances too much power. They focus too much on the past. They focus too much on the future that they forget what's right in front of them. And when you do that, you're going to miss out on the opportunities, on relationships. Quick story. I had just gotten cut by the Atlanta Falcons, and I had done really well. And I was questioning God, like, I did everything. I did my job. Everything was good. And I got cut. So I was like, I find myself in San Antonio, Texas, and I'm training, and I'm also, in the meantime, I'm working. While I have to work, I also have to train now. So every day I woke up at 4:22 in the morning, took a bus to go to work, got there at 5:46, worked out from 5:46 to 7, and then started working, then I kicked after school. In the meantime, and check this out, people are brought into your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. A reason, a season, or a lifetime. The reason can be a short message or a lesson in life. The season, we all have seasons in life. You all have seasons in high school, seasons in several jobs, go pursue another career. Or a lifetime. You have friends for life. Well, it's 4:22 in the morning. I'm carrying my footballs. I am tired. I get on the bus, and my bus driver, his name is Andre Fulton. This guy was brought into my life for a reason and a short season of 2 months. He tells me, hey, Serge, I always see you carrying them footballs around. Well, what do you do? So I started telling my story. I used to play the NFL, got cut, and, I'm trying to get back. But at the same time, I'm working. And he's like, all right. So then he starts telling me his story. Mind you, he's a bus driver. He picks me up at 4:22 in the morning. I'm assuming he has to be awake at least by 3 o'clock, 3:30, be at the bus station, get rolling. Y'all bus drivers know the grind. Yeah. So he starts telling me a story Kind of find out this dude is a millionaire. Right? That's the same reaction I had. I'm like, Andre, if you're a millionaire, then why the heck are you waking up at 3 in the morning driving a bus? And he says, 2 simple reasons, Serge. Encourage people and spread God's word. And I was like, respect. Throughout this whole time, I'm thinking, he's probably, me está echando mentiras, he's a bus driver, he's a millionaire. Well, he invites me to a barbecue, sure enough, $2-3 million house, very humble dude though. So he tells me, hey, Serge, I got some homework for you. And he's like, I want you to create a vision board. And I'm like, a vision board? He's like, yeah. And he says, in Habakkuk 2:2 in the Old Testament, it states, write the vision plainly down on tablet so he who reads it may run with it. Write your goals down. So he said, I want you to get a big vision, a big board, and I want you to cut your dreams, pictures of your dreams. So obviously in the middle, it's a cross. God is number one for me. He's always. Then I put a picture, a logo of the NFL, and I put a picture of two of my favorite kickers, and I put mine right next to it. Then I put a picture of a big picnic table, and there's just a bunch of raza, just hanging out, barbecuing. Because that's my dream, to have a big family. I want to have like 10 kids, right? But we'll see about, I'm joking. Maybe about 8, but yeah. So that's my second, that's another dream. And then another one is, I cut a picture of a door, and it says Sergio Castillo. That's my other dream. So he's like, Serge, cut and paste these pictures out. And I'm like, all right. Well, when I started seeing this board, I'm like, man, this seems like a long shot. I'm like, how am I going to do this? But you know what? He's like, Serge, that's going to be the first thing you're going to see in the morning, and that's the last thing you're going to see before you go to bed. And whatever you feed your mind, that's what you believe, and that's what I started feeding my mind. Hey, currently, I'm playing in Canada. It's a league right below the NFL. I'm like, you know what? I am one step away from the NFL. Boom, check. Right? 4 classes away from getting my master's now. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not the smartest, I'm not the brightest, I'm not the fastest. But you know what? All you need is ganas. That is all you need. Teachers, I am that student that you'll be teaching this year. Doesn't matter if it's in first grade, pre-K, all the way to senior. Because those kids, they have hopes, they have dreams. But at the same time, what do they have? Insecurities, doubts. I'm like, can I do this? They don't have the blueprint from home to tell them, hey, mijo, this is how you can do it. It's unfortunate, like I said, we live in a community where a lot of our parents don't know what it takes to get to the top, to get out of our situation. And while we can't be at home and dictate what's going to happen at home, if whatever 45 minutes to an hour that you have them, you know what? Invest fully in those 45 minutes to an hour. I tell myself every day, if I have 0.23% of chance of making it back to the NFL, I'm going to concentrate on that 0.23%. I'm not going to worry about the other 99 point nothing. That's something I can't control. Learn to control what you can. Learn to control what you can. Embrace everything that comes through. So embrace who you are, where you come from, and more than anything, work on yourselves and do not work on your job. Because if you work on yourselves as an individual, you will keep on growing, and your job and everything else will come. One of Coach Leanos from Tabasco Elementary, he sent me a message. He's like, hey, Serge, our school is struggling, and, we're in the pit. And I'm like, everyone's been in the pit. Teachers, administrators, there's been a point in your life when you were going to school, you're like, I don't know how I'm going to do it. I don't know how I'm going to get out of it. Here's the thing. If you've been out of it, if you've gotten yourself out of situations before, you can do it again. Come this time next year, Tabasco, you're going to be at the top with everyone else. And that's for everyone. That's for everyone. Don't just strive to be the best in the valley. Hey, let's go statewide. Why not? Why not? And I leave you with this. Keep planting the seed. Do not grow weary in doing good, for he who doesn't give up will reap a harvest pretty soon. Do not grow weary in doing good, for if you don't give up, you'll reap a harvest. Hey, keep planting the seed of faith. Keep planting the seed of faith, because there's going to come times when it's not raining. And what do a lot of people do? They stop planting the seed. And then when rain comes, shoot, the opportunity went by. Every day you have an opportunity to impact. Every day I wake up, I'm like, you know what, God? Give me the responsibility. Give me the responsibility on and off the field to make an impact and to grow as an individual. Because I'm not just preparing for myself. I'm preparing for my future wife, my future kids. And it's like, you know what? I want to provide for them what I didn't have. So keep planting the seed of faith and you'll keep on growing. All right? And even if you're at the bottom and you're caving into your doubts, remember, there is a God. Thank you. All right, I have a little note, and I'm about to announce the winner of the Spirit Stick. And the winner is... La Joya.